Hello, I'm Jake, and a few weeks ago I released this video right here where I talked about how you can plan a project. And honestly, planning a project is a really good thing to do. It can make things go way faster, and it can make you kind of not make some of the bad decisions earlier because you're planning. Smart. But once you've started a project, it can really help to break things down further so you can better track what you have left to do. In this quick video, I'm going to go over 3 different levels of project tracking that I use. Not at the same time, usually, but well, a little bit. You'll see. They go from basically no effort to, well, a lot of effort, but there's a lot of benefits to putting in effort to something like that. So if you like being organized, you're definitely going to want to wait till the end. So, the little to no effort. Kind of simple. Maybe it's not even worth saying, but just use your brain. Pretty simple. If you have an idea, you're probably already thinking about it, and maybe you're thinking about it through the day, just try and remember it and implement it when you can. So there's some really obvious negatives with not really tracking at all and just using your head, which I think most people do. And it's just that you're just going to forget stuff, right? You're going to get busy with other stuff, and then you're going to forget, and then you're going to come back and say, wow, you know what? There's this one thing I really wanted to add, but I have no idea what it is. Happens to me all the time. However, depending on whatever your project might be, it can work great. And there's even some little things you can do to try and help make this a little bit simpler. So while you might mainly use your head to keep track of things, you can just kind of like, if you have an idea for updating something, just write something in your code like, make this cooler. Perfect. But that's kind of all there is to this one. Super simple, basically no effort, but you might kind of regret it. You might regret it in the end. Can't believe I said regret. My goodness. All right, option 2 is use something like Google Docs, Google Sheets, a note-taking app. I don't care if Microsoft Docs, whatever. Just something where you can just type out some stuff so you can remember things. So I did this, for instance, this is a project I worked on, which I no longer, it's not available anywhere, but I wrote down a bunch of database stuff because I was like, okay, what am I going to use? This is a little bit in the planning side, but it's also in the tracking side because I literally wrote down like what each of my tables are. And this was super useful because when I moved from hosting this on just my own computer to an actual server, I had all these things ready to go. I didn't have to like reference it somewhere else. I could just do it manually because it was relatively small. And it was great. It was like there was no problem at all doing this. Although probably the thing I would recommend the most if you are going to do something like this would be either Google Sheets or Excel. While most people just think of, Sheets or Excel as something that you're going to, do like math and stuff in, you can do some really cool stuff for like let's see, like project tasks. Here we go. Now we have all these tasks. You can set priorities to them, which you probably don't need for if it's just you making something. But that also kind of brings up another great point. If it's just you working on something, number 1, just using your brain, probably perfect, right? You can kind of get around it with adding some little notes here and there. But if it's not just you working on something, it's a really good idea to have some kind of information on what the tasks are so that you're not all working on the same thing by accident, because I've had that happen before. A lot of people have. So instead, you can have some kind of task sheet like this in Google Sheets or wherever, and ta-da, now you have all of the tasks that you want. You can have them assigned to different owners, or people can assign them to themselves when they're going to work on them. And yeah, but this is still very lightweight. You can still access this anywhere. You can't really do too much with this. Like, to be honest, this is actually probably still overkill for this option, but it's still just a simple way to list out some things. Like, you don't have to use all of these columns. You can just use the task part, which is why I'd probably just like create a new sheet and just do like tasks. Make menu, make windscreen, export game, make game fun, stop procrastinating and actually do it for real this time. Really, do it. If you're procrastinating, if you're procrastinating watching this video, good on you. But after this, whatever you're procrastinating, go do it. You know what? You might say, Jake, how dare you? But I promise you, by the end of finishing whatever you're doing, you feel really good. So, you can thank me in the comments, or say, hey, don't tell me what to do in the comments. That's fine too. Because hey, I'm not your boss. All right, so this is number 2, just tracking stuff. Honestly, some of the things that I really use for this is Google Keep, because I know I'm saying a lot of Google stuff. Like, while I work at Google, I'm not like the biggest Google fanboy ever. Obviously, I like them enough that I work for them. But Keep is, I find, super useful because it's just a note-taking app. It's relatively simple. You can just do Apple Notes or whatever too, or whatever. But Keep is the default note-taking app for Android. But you can access it on web or wherever, and I think that's a huge plus. So if you are going to use some kind of app for taking notes, I would highly recommend using some kind of software that works on multiple things. So not just on mobile. So it's mobile and web or whatever. The more places you can access the thing, the more likely you're going to be able to put whatever your new idea is down somewhere, and it's not going to get lost in your brain, which is why it's better than number 1. Don't just use your brain, use something else, maybe. Number 3, Kanban. I think it's Kanban. This is really, really, really useful if you are doing anything with more than one person. Like, if you are doing things with more than one person, you can use Sheets or Excel or whatever. That probably can work, but I promise you, this is going to make things so clear, and it's also fun. I think it's fun. So anyways, if you don't know what Kanban is or Kanban, the idea is basically that you have these different areas, and each of these little things here are tasks that you can do. So let me show you a free place where you can host Kanbans, and that's called Trello. So this is one of my Trello things. This is for this rage game that I made called Happy Golf. If you want to check out last video, I think I was talking about it. But yeah, you can check that out if you want, but you probably shouldn't, because it sucks. But this is so useful because you can have to-dos, you can have whatever these things you want, you can rename them, you can add new ones, etc. Again, this is free, right? This is all happening for free. Of course, you can pay to do other stuff like automate things or whatever. Like, actually, maybe you can even do some of this for free. But there is like a paid version, like Try Premium. But honestly, you can do basically everything that I would ever need to do on here, you can do for free. So like, define the story. I was just like, sure, I can make this game, but I don't know what the story is. And I was like, okay, Bob is a ball named Pending, who needs to reach the end of the course in order to get into ball heaven. Or he just is tired of getting hit by loser humans and is taking matters into his own hands, or not hands. I don't know. Just you can write comments. You can share this with people, so a bunch of people can see this. And because you can do something like this, you can access it from anywhere. But honestly, the most satisfying part is when you're done with something, you move it over. And it feels so good. I promise you, it's such a weird thing, but I promise you it feels super good when you're working on something and you come back to this thing and you go, Done. Feels so good. You can achieve basically the same thing with like sticky notes, right? If you really wanted to. And that's also super satisfying to like move it over or crumple it up and throw it away, recycle it. But yeah, I just think that if you're really serious about something and you're working with more people, using like Kanban or something like it to do some like real intense program or project tracking, it's going to save you a ton of time. It's going to be a little bit to set up and a little bit to write out each thing, but you're just going to feel so organized. And if you like being organized, this is the way to go. These are just the 3 that I use for basically every project. A lot of times, to be honest, it starts with 1 where I just think of some stuff in my head and just keep track of that for a while. And then I either jump to 2 or I jump to 3, depending on how many people I'm working with and how big the project I think is going to be. Am I going to work on it for like, a few weeks, or am I going to work on it for a few months? If it's a few months, I'm probably going to go towards something like Trello. And if it's just a few weeks, then I can either get away with just keeping it in my head or go ahead and use something like a doc or a sheet or something like that, or a note-taking app. So these are the ones that I use, but if you have ones that you like using, whether it's for tracking projects or just remembering things, for things that you want to do or projects that you want to do, let me know in the comments down below, because I love seeing what new things there are out there, and that'd be really cool. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, please give it some love down below by giving it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing while you're down there. Have a good one. Bye.